Hey everybody, John Swift. How are you guys doing? With all this civil unrest on the news and all this crap in Minneapolis, the court case and the officer involved shooting with the lady who shot the guy, although despite that she thought she was tasing him, she shot him and killed him. Let me just say this right off the bat. I believe that was, of course, wrong. That the guy had to lose his life because he got stopped. I don't know why he was stopped, if he was speeding or whatever it was. And I don't know all the facts, so I just want to state that up front. I've seen the video on TV, unfortunately. I'm really trying to steer clear of a lot of this racial unrest because it just aggravates the shit out of me, essentially. That's the best feelings I could put it, just aggravated and angry. Because every time a black person is shot by a police officer or killed, it gives the license to the black community to rob and pillage under the guise of protesting. This is the issue I have with this whole thing. It's like, oh, we're gonna go protest, which is legal. I don't think they've said, in Minneapolis that you can't protest, but there's also a curfew out there. I don't know what time it is. It's like 9 or 10 or something. And you've got these people who take that opportunity to wreck stores. I saw the one video of a dollar store being ransacked and everybody just stole everything in the dollar store. And so here's my sort of my issues. I'm like I said, I'm really aggravated right now. I'm agitated and aggravated, sort of angry, because when a police officer responds to a scene and they have an issue with somebody maybe reaching for a gun or trying to resist or whatever it is, they have a split second to respond, okay? They have milliseconds to decide if they're going to have to defend themselves or use a taser or shoot somebody. These people, and I'm not going to say it's the black community, just whatever community it is, because I don't know if it's the black community or who it is. I really don't. But because I imagine that there's some non-black people out there doing, robbing places and throwing rocks at the cops, and supposedly they're throwing like frozen, Coke cans or something, and the whole thing's bad. It's just like a whole bad situation. But those people have hours and days to decide how they're going to respond to. And the reason I'm saying those people is because I'm not going to identify one specific. It's not going to be racial from me. You're not going to hear me saying, "Oh, the black people shouldn't do this." I don't know who those people are. I don't know who they are. But whoever's committing crimes because they think it's okay to, if somebody gets shot in the black community, you respond by committing crimes and hurting police. And that's what really, I think, really hurts my heart, is these police officers take the risk to go and get a job as a police officer thinking they're going to do the public good, and then they just get shit on by everybody. Especially now. As a whole, we say there's a couple bad cops, and it's whatever, systematic racism, or the cops are racist and all that stuff, and we're judging that on a small percentage of people, or small percentage of police officers that are doing these illegal, whatever you want to call it, illegal shootings, or beating people, or police brutality, or whatever it is. If you really look up the statistics on what percentage of police, sorry, I just got a text, that are doing these crimes versus all the good cops, it's a very small minority. And also, this is something I've been wanting to mention for a long time. Do you have any idea what the percentage of black on black murders are? it's somewhere between 80% and 90% of black people are murdered by a black person. And this is something I've known for a long time, but am hesitant to say that. So if you have, I'm hesitant to say it because people are backlashing at me saying, well, you know, so that tells you that, you know, smaller than 10% or 15%, you know, let's say it's 85% of crimes, violent crimes committed against black people is 85%. So the 15% left over is other. I don't know that it's, you know, Hispanic, or I don't think it really matters. So what is the larger problem? Is it this, you know, white police officers killing black people, you know, in the systematic racism, blah, 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 blah? Or is it people killing their own race? Just food for thought. I'm not making a judgment. I'm trying to stay objective. But I'm just saying, logically, if I'm trying to think of another way to put it, you know, if you know, if stores, I can't think of another analogy. I think you guys are smart enough to understand that that doesn't make a lot of sense. That we're only focused on this small percentage that police officers are killing black people. Yes, in the George Floyd case, it seems as though, that's what, notice I said seems, it appears that he intentionally killed George Floyd. You know, that's one officer that did that. But then I say, like, you've already got all this tension. The courthouse is basically like a bunker now with fencing and concrete reinforcement, so people can't, you know, get into the courthouse and attack, you know. And it's like a war zone out there. And they're expecting worse, you know, of course. And they're expecting people to riot. But does that need to take place? We've already been through all this in the early 2020, where the BLM has. I'm saying that quietly because there's an African American gentleman behind me. I don't want him to be offended, because Lord knows if I said anything about Black Lives Matter in a negative light. That wasn't meant to be racist. I was just making a joke there to cut the tension a little bit. So the Black Lives Matter movement, you know, has already made a large statement in 2020. You know, I can remember working at a store in early, I would say like May or something, when the George Floyd thing got really big, and people came to the plaza, or whatever you want to call it. What the hell is that? There's water dripping off the roof. I just got dripped on. I thought somebody just peed on me. So they had like a I don't know what you call it, a raid on some jewelry store, you know, and tried to break the window, and the cops came and broke it up. But that was right at the height of all these Black Lives Matter marching type of things. But these people that are like using this as an excuse to, under the guise of a protest, just rip people off and damage property and hurt people. And the cops are the ones that are getting hurt. It's not, well, in my case, it's not people. People weren't being beat up. There was some fires in Tampa, which is, you know, an hour from here. And, you know, a lot of property got damaged. But I know in other cities, you know, I think people are getting hurt and police officers are getting hurt. And like I was trying to say earlier, is police officers sign up with the best intentions of, you know, serving the community, serving the public, and keeping people safe. I can't say that I signed up for a job that was potentially dangerous and potentially fatal. You know, working on YouTube, My life is not threatened, a possible threat every day that I could be, injured or, beaten or shot or stabbed. These proud young men and women that go into the law enforcement field really are. It's like being in the Army. You're taking a chance with your life every day. You could possibly get shot or killed on duty. And if you get shot, you could possibly have to retire because you can't do your job anymore. I can't say that there's any other job really that you're putting yourself in harm's way selflessly for reasons that, it's just not possible that people get into job because they know they have a gun and then they can just kick people and get away with it. That's just not, it's not a reality. The men and women in blue don't deserve to be, have the intention of public safety and then get shot or stabbed or beaten or, because their intention is just to try to keep, you guys, we all know this, it's to just keep the peace. That's why they're there. So my thing is, if Black Lives Matter or whoever is doing these protests, because I don't know what the other names are of the, the groups that are doing this type of thing, Antifa or whatever you want to call it, why don't they take a proactive step and sit down and figure out how to protect the black community by educating, okay? And this is something I've been thinking about for months. Why don't they do a proactive rather than wait till somebody gets killed and then go out and protest? Why don't you do something proactive and teach kids and young adults how to obey police officers when you get out of the car? Because in the case that the lady accidentally shot the young black man, she said taser and then shot him with the gun because apparently she got it confused between the taser. I don't believe that she intentionally shot him knowing that she had a gun, because she said taser, which is what you do so the other police officers will back away and not get tased. So the point I'm trying to get out is, why don't we educate the community? And you notice I'm not saying the black community, I'm saying the community, on how to react when you're pulled over by a police officer or have an interaction with a police officer, and not run or fight or resist. Half of these things wouldn't have happened if there wouldn't be somebody fighting or resisting. Well, maybe I can't say half, but I'm just saying there's been incidents where police officers just shot somebody running away, and that's what happened, and I'm not defending that. But I just think somebody needs to take, if you're a person in Antifa or whatever organization that is protesting against this injustice that, police, and by the way, black people aren't the only ones getting shot by police officers. There's plenty of people besides black people getting killed. You mean to tell me this whole year there hasn't been one non-black person shot or injured by a police officer? It's like that just goes right over your head. That doesn't. Those aren't important. Those people that are I'm saying non-black because it includes anybody who's not of the black race. So I really needed to make this video just to sort of get this off my brain, because it's been aggravating me for days and days and days. Actually, probably longer than that. And I've really thought long and hard whether I should say something, make my opinion, because my opinion is not necessarily a right opinion. It's just an opinion. And if you disagree with me or you agree with me, please leave a comment and tell me what you think. Especially about, let's educate, young people. When you get pulled over by a car, don't lead them on a 45-minute car chase and get yourself killed, because that is what is putting you in harm's way. In whether you you know, try to batter a police officer or hit him or kick, or, you know, cops don't really like when they get hit or shot at, you know, or beaten or whatever, you know, ran over by a car. There was an incident in Tampa where a guy ran over, or tried to run over, police officers, and they shot him because he was driving, trying to elude them, but it appears to me that they were not being careful about where they drove, and there was police officers in the way. That's why they shot him. And I don't know what the race was of the person, but so hopefully I've conveyed something that makes sense, rather than just saying I'm mad because these riots and, you know, and because it doesn't seem fair to police officers. I am a strong police supporter because I've had a lot of positive interaction. When I used to work for the news, I used to have friends that were police officers, and I would run into them all the time. And police officers are regular people. They're just like you and me. They're not just a bunch of dicks that are running around with guns and tasers and bats trying to, you know, hurt people. They are normal people who have decided to do a hard job, a tough job, and now they're just getting shit on because of number one, the media. Speaking of police officers, there's a public safety car from the Sarasota Memorial Hospital. So anyway, I hope I've made at least made some sense, made you think. In the reason why I try to make these videos, and hopefully an objective video, is to get you to think about the situation in a different way. Because I always try to not jump on the bandwagon and say, yeah, let's prosecute all the police, or let's denounce all the protesters because they're all bad. It's just like, we have to come up with a solution that is going to sort of de-escalate. Wow, that's really loud. Concrete factory over there. We need to de-escalate and figure out how to work together between, you know, the black organizations, the black community, and the police officers to remedy this, because these protests aren't accomplishing anything other than just like riling people up. I don't see them accomplishing much in the way of solutions. What are the solutions to the issues of the problem? Let's work through that. So I appreciate when you guys comment. Give me some feedback. If you think I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. If you think I have some good ideas, tell me I have a good idea. Whatever. Anyway, I feel a little bit better, sort of getting that off my brain, because my girlfriend doesn't like to, or my friend doesn't like to listen to my rants. You know, she just kind of just nods her head and go, yeah, whatever. Anyway, hopefully the next video will be a lot more positive and something interesting besides all this just crap and garbage that's going on. It's just like non-stop. It's like, you know, I think just the same as the election, we look forward to a day where I don't have to turn on the news and see, you know, there's protesting and stuff, and then there's a cop that shot somebody. At some point it has to stop, because it's just wearing on the nation right now. Anyway, I really hope you guys are taking care, and I hope you I'm so aggravated, I don't even know what to say. I'm so mentally tired from just every day waking up listening to this news. Anyway, I hope you guys are good. Have a great day. I'm gonna go get my jog on and try to get rid of this aggravation, tension, stress in my voice. Anyway, have a great day, guys. We'll see you next time.